trying it for the second time, it just didn't seem to want to play, and it still seems to be. Ah, there we go. That's what I was waiting for. I am now live. Okay, so just make sure I'm actually in the group. There we go. Okay, so have I got that on silent? Yes. It's Tuesday. Can you believe it? So this is 6 o'clock. It's time for Taster Tuesday. As I promised, it's your weekly just pocket of calm and connection to your breath. So tonight we're focusing on some of us, most of us actually, that we need more of. Restful, easeful sleep. So before we begin, I just want you to take a moment. Make sure you've got some water with you. You can be, now I'm sat at my desk, but you can be in your comfy sofa, you could be laid down on your bed, on your, wherever's nice, and you could be snuggled up, although it's been quite warm today. I want you to be comfortable, and I want you to be at ease. If you're watching live, and I'm afraid I can't see if anyone is live, comments aren't coming up. So I'll just have to assume that if you're watching live, or if you're watching this on replay, or on my YouTube channel at some later date, I want you just to close your eyes and check in with yourself. And I want you to think, how's my energy this evening? I feel restless, sleepy, frazzled. I mean, all of you is welcome here, but I would love it if you'd pop it in the comments, because this is where we notice our emotions, notice how our body is feeling, and then we can come back to that later at the end of the half-hour session. So, why does this matter? Well, when our minds race, our bodies feel tense at bedtime. It's often because our nervous system is stuck in that go, 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 go mode. Yeah? And your breath is one of the simplest, most natural tools that you have, that you can use to signal your brain, hey, it's safe to let go now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share 3 gentle techniques with you that will help with that. And these are 3 techniques that I teach and lead all of my clients with. I think everyone in the world should know these. It's the slow light breathing, the extended exhale, those of you that are my clients will know that one. And then I also wanted to add just a simple bedtime breath ritual that will carry you into sleep. Because again, I know that works because it's helped me, and I've had clients tell me that they nod off to sleep In fact, they tell me, oh, I didn't get to finish it, Kim. I didn't do the amount of time. I just nodded off. And it's all like, well, that's what it's there for. That's good. That's what we want, right? So I want you to remember, in every breathwork session you do, and every breathwork coach you may listen to, I want you to remember that these breathing practices are your tools, so they need to be calibrated for your body. So if a particular count feels uncomfortable, just drop it and just breathe naturally and gently. Because when you breathe through your nose and you slow it down and you just bring your awareness back, it naturally has that effect of just calming the system down, okay? So the numbers don't really matter. The numbers are just to give your brain something to think about, to quieten down all the other hubbub that's going on up there. Okay? There is no perfect breath. All right? I want you to remember that. The breath is whatever is right for you and kind to your body. Okay? So, oh, and before I start, what would be really good is keep a journal, or even in a diary on some post-it notes or something, and jot down how these breathing techniques made you feel. Did they feel good? That's why what we do is we always have a moment of silence in between each breathing technique, because it helps you bring your awareness into, well, okay, what's my body feeling now? How did that breathing technique feel? And also it gives your subconscious and conscious side of the brain a chance to assimilate anything that you've done. Okay, so as I said, we're going to do 3 techniques: slow, light breathing, then we're going to have a 30-second moment of quiet for you to contemplate and notice. Then I'm going to move on to the extended exhale, and again that's going to be for 5 minutes, and then another 30 seconds silence, and then I'm going to move on to the nice simple bedtime breath, and then that will be us. That'll be the half an hour. So make sure you're nice and comfortable. Sit or lie down, it doesn't matter. I'd like you to close your mouth and soften your face. I'd like you to breathe gently and just notice your breath to begin with. Is it fast? Is it slow already? Does it feel all up in your chest? Or can you feel your tummy working, your diaphragm working? So we're just noticing, first of all. Notice if there's any tension in your body. Perhaps you've got some aches and pains somewhere. Perhaps your body wants to just move to make yourself more comfortable. And that's fine. Now for the next minute, I'd like you to really slow down your breathing. Just a little bit. If you can breathe in through the nose and then breathe out through the nose. Make sure your mouth is closed but the jaw's relaxed. And what we're trying to do is just slow our respiratory system down. Fooling our body into thinking it's already asleep. Lovely. And now what I would like you to try and do is we're going to lighten our breathing now. So if you imagine there's a gorgeous little white downy feather just in front of your nose, not tickling it but just in front. And as you're breathing through the nose, you want to breathe so lightly. You're still getting enough oxygen in, but that feather isn't moving at all. And sometimes with my clients, if they have troubles visualizing this, I'll use a little bit of tissue paper or if I can find any of those gorgeous little dove feathers, you can just hold it. Just imagine it in front of your nose. And as you're slowly and lightly breathing in, the feather really doesn't move at all. You're hardly breathing. But you can feel that your tummy is rising and falling very slowly. So your body is getting the oxygen it needs. Keep going, we've got just 30 seconds left of this really light, slow breathing. And what this does is because you are imagining, visualizing that feather, you're using your mind, so it's quieting, and you've slowed down the breathing and make it nice and light. So again, it's soothing that fight or flight response. So now I'd like you to go back to just your normal breathing. We're just going to have 30 seconds of silence, just so that you can notice how your body feels and how that breath felt. And when you hear my voice again, move on to the next breath. Well done. Notice how that silence felt. Very rarely do we ever just sit or lie in silence. There's always the TV on, the radio, computer background noise, just sitting and contemplating. So what we're going to do now is a beautiful extended exhale. Again, the longer exhale actually calms your heart rate, which then lowers blood pressure and just invites, really deep relaxation. Anyone who's done yoga will know how calming the long, slow exhales can be. Now I'm going to start you off with counting the breaths. But as I said at the top, it doesn't really matter whether you follow my count and inhale for a count of 4 and exhale for a count of 6, or perhaps you feel more comfortable inhaling for a count of 3 and exhaling for a count of 4 or 5. The point of these taster sessions is for you to find the techniques that work for you. As I said, this is building your toolkit so that when you need them, they'll be there. So this time, instead of breathing in and out through the nose, I'm going to get you to inhale through the nose and then slowly exhale through the mouth. But I want it to be a really long slow, as if you are blowing through a straw, or do you not know, I was going to say blowing out a candle, but that can cause quite a bit of puff, and I don't want you to use a lot of energy on your exhale. I want it to be long and slow. So yeah, or imagine you're gently blowing a soap bubble, perhaps. I'm going to do the count for a couple of rounds, and then I'm going to leave you to find your own routine for the remainder of the 5 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to start counting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So inhale through your nose for a count of 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhale slowly through the mouth. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Keep going. In, out. As I said, find your rhythm that you enjoy, that really relaxes you the most. I'm going to carry on for the next 3 minutes, calming your heart rate, getting your body ready for really deep relaxation. Keep breathing. Nice, long, extended exhale. Slow. You're calming your whole body down doing this technique. Well done. You're doing so well. Remember, keep it nice and gentle, nice and steady. Find that rhythm. Find the count that relaxes you the most. We're into the last minute now. So keep breathing, finding that rhythm. Nice, soft, slow exhale. This is a wonderful one to do, and the more you practice it, it will just present itself when you need it the most. You'll find yourself doing it automatically. So I'm going to move on to our 30 seconds of silence. Just let your breathing go back to its normal pattern, and just notice how your body feels now after this particular breathing exercise, this technique. And notice what felt right for you. And take this 30 seconds of silence as time for yourself. And then when you hear my voice again, we'll move on to the third and final bedtime breath. You might notice that you felt slightly different during that silence. It's all about taking the time to be aware of these things, taking the time to really notice how our body is reacting, what we're feeling, how our heart rate's going. So now we're going to move on to the final technique for this taster session, and it's just a lovely bedtime breath ritual. Now, you do this, you've already done your evening routine, so you're in your jammies, you're lying in your bed, and then you just place one hand on your tummy and the other one on your heart. And then it's back to awareness again. So you're breathing in through the nose and you're breathing out through the nose. And I want you to visualize the breath that you're breathing in going down through your nose, down your trachea, into your bronchals, out into the lungs. Magic happens. The oxygen is taken out, absorbed into the tissues and blood cells. The carbon is brought back up through your bronchals, up the trachea and back out through the nose. And there's no counting involved with this one. I want you to really notice inside, so notice how the air feels as it comes in the nose, and then notice how the air feels as it comes out through the nose. With your hand on your heart and on your tummy, I want you to feel your tummy lift. I want you to feel, as you continue to breathe, your whole body softens, the tension just strips off of you, okay? So let's start this. And again, I tell my clients just 5 minutes is all that's needed. And it sets you up ready for a really good night's sleep. So hand on the tummy and one on your heart, so you can feel your heart beating. And perhaps you find yourself breathing to the rhythm of your heartbeat. Those inhales and exhales. And perhaps you notice that your breathing and your heartbeat become aligned. And with your eyes closed, you can feel your tummy gently rising and falling. This is you telling your body, I am safe to rest. I am safe to sleep. Keep breathing, nice and gently. Feel your body's gentle movement as the air comes in. Your respiratory system does its magic. and sends the oxygen where it needs. Your body uses the carbon that it needs, and then the rest of the carbon dioxide is just exhaled back out in your gentle nasal exhale. It feels good to be at one with your body and to know that it's working efficiently, effectively, and healthily. Use these last 90 seconds to really connect deeply with your breath and your heart, and how your lungs are inflating with the nourishing air. And the oxygen that's being transported everywhere it needs to go. The hemoglobin knows where it needs to take that beautiful oxygen. Your nervous system is relaxed. You feel safe, and you're ready to sleep. And as we get to the final 5 minutes of this breathing bedtime technique, the next silence we're going to have, you're going to let your breath go back to its normal rhythm, and you're just going to notice how your body feels. And you're going to notice what change, if any, you can recognize. So when you hear my voice again, we'll just close it down and have a moment reflection. And I have a few messages for you. So how did that silence feel compared to the previous 2 silences? And as we've come to the end of our 30-minute session, in fact I think I've gone slightly over, sorry about that, I would love for you to just again check in with yourself, and if you'd like to, just share a word or a feeling in the comments about how you're feeling now. Which technique did you enjoy the most? I hope you'll practice all three of those. I promise you they will help. But as with everything, it needs to be done on a regular basis. I do have a little announcement to make. I have got space in July for 2 more clients. I've rejiggled my calendar, and so I've managed to get some space for 2 more clients. So if that'd be interesting for you, and we can really deep dive into your needs, and we will work out the breathing patterns best suited for you, then contact me. Send me a DM, send me a WhatsApp, message me and say, yeah, I'd like to work with you one-to-one, or even if you just want to just jump on a call and find out, well, what exactly is involved with working one-to-one with me. Because before we make any investments in ourselves, we need to find out the nitty-gritty, right? You've got to read the small print. So I will put the link in this Facebook group, so that if you would love to work with me, and I would love to work with you, I'll pop a link to book a suitability call, because with the best will in the world, we might not work well together. We might not actually get on. And you don't want to work with a coach that you don't get on with, right? So that's what the suitability call is for. If we're not a good fit, then, I do have other breathwork friends and colleagues who had exactly the same high level of training that I have, that I'd be able to refer you to. So I would just like to say thank you for pausing to breathe with me this evening. May your sleep be deep and your dreams gentle. And I'll see you next Tuesday for another soft moment together. Enjoy your evening.